The night after our thesis defense, I ended it with Willow. She arched a brow, half smiling, when I told her, just because you help him with his resume instead of me. I only said, yeah. She shrugged, light as ever. All right then, don't regret it. We'd known each other since we were 5, childhood sweethearts who grew up believing we were unshakable. She was sure I'd never walk away. But what she didn't know was that the resume was only an excuse. Mine was already polished, already sent. I'd landed a job, far away, in a city where she couldn't reach me. And this time, I was leaving for Real. It was at a coffee shop, sunlight spilling across her delicate profile, when she tested me. Mr. Wang, are you really that petty? I nodded, petty enough to break up. She leaned back, chin propped in her hand, eyes glinting. How many times is this now? The 8th? The 9th? Or maybe the 10th? Don't be ridiculous, George. You can't live without me. I shook my head. No one's indispensable. We'll both survive. She let out a soft, oh, nodded, and said, all right then, just don't regret it. I won't. I stood and walked out, straight into Makoto. He was clutching a folder, looking nervous. Willow, the final interview notice just came in. I'm still not confident. Could you run through the strategy with me again? Her eyes flicked toward me, but she didn't answer. Before, I would have snapped. What does your interview have to do with her? But I was tired of watching history repeat itself. Makoto quickly explained, biting his lip. George, don't misunderstand. Willow and I are just friends. I don't have anyone else who understands these things. This job means everything to me. Please, don't be upset with her. And then he kept talking. How she'd stayed up late for his mock interviews, her voice hoarse the next morning. How she sat with him in the hospital when he had a fever. How he messes her every time he bought a tie. I couldn't take it anymore. Just friends? And you're at her apartment until midnight? Just friends? And you drag her to the hospital? Just friends? And every time she and I have a date, you need her? What are you, an orphan? Have you forgotten boundaries? You're just a chauffeur's son, not her boyfriend. Makoto froze. His eyes reddened, his shoulders shook, and he broke down, sobbing right there in the quiet cafe. Willow sighed, handed him a tissue, and scolded me. Do you really have to bully someone just because it's honest? And as I watched this grown man cry into a napkin, I felt it, emptiness. Everything suddenly felt meaningless. I turned and walked out. That night, I slept straight into darkness, only to wake to a sting in my chest. On my phone, a new post from Makoto, a poker table photo, his hand flashing a V sign, a caption about luck, about learning the game of life, and beside him, a hand pushing a stack of chips forward, wearing the limited edition watch I gave Willow. My phone buzzed again. Willow's message lit the screen. Send me your resume. I'll take a look. After 5 hours of playing cards with someone else, she remembered me. I stared at her profile picture, the one I took of her years ago, smiling at the foot of snow-covered mountains. She'd never changed it. My finger hovered, then slid her into my block list. Later, when I went downstairs for food, my uncle noticed my eyes. Swollen. You been crying? I mumbled, slept too much. He smiled, sliding a bowl of soup my way. Willow's a thoughtful girl. Her family even pulled strings to land her a job at Panda Group. And you stayed here, turned down offers, worked yourself to the bone, just to be in the same city as her. I saw those dark circles under your eyes, George. It broke my heart. I set my chopsticks down. Uncle, I've accepted an offer. Top securities firm. In North City. He froze. North City? But that's so far. What about you and Willow? I cut him off. I know the difference between career and love. This job is my stepping stone. If my background clears, I'm leaving next week. He hesitated, then finally nodded. My phone buzzed again. This time it wasn't Willow. It was David, my best friend. Graduation blowout tonight. Don't miss it. And for the first time in years, I felt like I just might not. My uncle clapped me on the back with a smile. Go on, have fun. You've been holding it together long enough. Time to loosen up. Half an hour later, I was stepping through the glowing doors of a club everyone in town knew. The music pulsed through the floorboards, neon lights cut through the haze, and laughter spilled from every corner. David waved me off toward the bar. Grab some drinks first. As I scooped ice into a tray, I caught a voice from the booth nearby, a voice I knew by heart. Willow, miss you. We came to have fun, but you've been glued to your phone all night. What's up? Her reply was casual, almost careless. Got blocked. By who? She sighed with that helpless little laugh of haze. Who else? My almighty other half. The group chuckled knowingly. George? Of course. Honestly, with young Master Wang's temper, who else could ever put up with him but you? And Willow, she laughed. Soft, indulgent. I spoiled him myself. What else can I do? Got to deal with it. That was enough. I didn't wait to hear the rest. I carried the drinks back, and the moment I stepped into the private room, I saw David in the middle of a shouting match. Across from him, Makoto, in a waiter's uniform, red-faced and flustered. We ordered Johnny Walker Black Label, and you brought Jack Daniels. Everyone knows George is allergic to Jack. How the hell is he supposed to drink this? David barked. Makoto's voice cracked. Too many people tonight. I messed up in the rush. Then fix it. David shot back. Makoto's eyes landed on me, desperate, pleading. George, please, it's just one glass. 300-something. This is my second strike tonight. One more mistake, and I lose my tips. You can afford to let this go, can't you? Just this once. I sat down, cold and expressionless. Are you confused? I'm allergic to Jack Daniels. You made the mistake. Why should I pay for it? His face flushed deeper. I'm not like you guys. I have to work to pay rent. Every cent matters to me. My voice cut sharp through the music. If it mattered that much, you wouldn't have screwed up. And if you did, own it. Don't guilt-trip others to clean your mess. One sip of that drink, and I be in the ER. The fact that I'm not holding you accountable is already me being generous. David slammed his hand on the table. Exactly. This is ridiculous. But Makoto's expression twisted into something pitiful. You rich kids, you just look down on people like us, don't you? His eyes glossed over, his shoulders trembled, and right there in front of everyone, he started to cry. He stormed toward the door, almost colliding with a group just walking in. Someone caught him by the arm. Makoto? What happened? His lips trembled, his eyes darted straight to Willow. She hurried over. What's going on? David stepped in. We ordered Black Label. He brought Jack. George is allergic. Instead of fixing it, he tried to push it on us. Makoto's head dropped. I didn't mean to. Someone tried to laugh it off. It's just a few drinks. You rich kids making drama again. David's voice was sharp. A few drinks? Last time George touched Jack, his throat swelled. He almost landed in the ICU. Willow's eyes found me through the dim light. Did you drink it? I smiled, bitter and cutting. Would you prefer that I had? You wish I'd been rushed to the ER, don't you? Sorry to disappoint. I'll live. Her tone softened, almost pleading. All right, but you didn't drink it. Why blow this up? He didn't do it on purpose. If you're mad, be mad at me. Don't take it out on him. I scoffed. You think this is about you? Are you blind, or just pretending? He messes up, and suddenly he's a victim, and I'm the villain for pointing it out. Makoto tugged at her sleeve, tears spilling again. I'll bring you drinks. I'll give up my tips. Just don't make this worse. Pathetic. That act, the crying, the trembling, it made my blood boil. Who the hell said you could speak? You screw up, and now you act like some martyr? Where's your shame? Willow's voice cut in, low and firm. That's enough. George, don't go too far. Then she turned to Makoto. Send the Jack to our table. Bring them Black Labels. I'll cover it. That was it. I grabbed my jacket. If the lady wants to play saint, she can do it alone. David, Let's go." Behind us, someone muttered, "What a temper." The streets were quiet by the time David and I walked out, neon lights giving way to silence. He sighed, rubbing his temple. "Sorry, George. I should have just ordered another drink. Maybe then you and Willow wouldn't have fought." I kept walking, my voice low. Why should I be the one to back down? Just because he can cry, we all have to cover for him. I stopped, the words heavier this time. Besides, I broke up with Willow this afternoon. David walked quietly beside me. I turned, half daring him. "What? You don't believe me?" He let out a long, weary breath. "Honestly, George, no one believes you'll ever really leave her." His words lingered, cutting deeper than I wanted to admit. "Are you really willing to let her go?" That question followed me into the car, and long after the city lights faded, it echoed louder than the music ever did. I told the driver to stop before we reached the villa. I wanted to walk. The first time I ever met Willow, it was on this very street. Back then, my parents had just died in a car accident, and I was sent to live with my uncle. People whispered when I walked past, pointing at me like I was some cursed child. "That's the boy, the one who begged his parent to come home for his birthday. If it weren't for him, they'd still be alive." I couldn't bear it. That night, I wandered to the man-made lake, and I jumped in, wondering if my death could somehow bring them back. But instead of sinking, I felt tiny arms wrap around me. Willow. She was only 5, but she clung to me like her life depended on it. From that moment on, she never let me go. I hated myself. I pushed her away. I threw rocks at her, cursed her, tried everything to make her leave. But she never did. When her family told her to stop following me, she puffed up her little cheeks and declared, "I'm his big sister. I have to protect him." Stubborn, foolish, but she stayed. In school, when kids called me a cursed orphan, Willow would fight them, nose blooded, lip split, shouting, "He's not parentless. Uncle and aunt are his parents now." And when I coldly told her, "They are not your parents," she only grinned through the pain and said, "They will be, once you marry me." That was the first time my heart softened. I reached out my hand, and she grabbed it. For more than 10 years, neither of us let go. But then came grad school, and Makoto, the driver's son, the boy who always seemed to show up between us. I knew something was wrong the day of Willow's birthday. I had planned a surprise, gift in hand, hiding in her apartment closet. But she walked in, with him, and he handed her a handmade model of her family estate, blushing as he said, "It's not as fancy as George's gift, but I worked on it for nights." The rage that hit me was instant. I stepped out, voice trembling with anger. Why compare it to mine? Just because it's expensive, does that make it less meaningful? He stammered. She smiled. She brushed it off. But I couldn't. From that day on, Makoto was always there, always needing her help, always pulling her away. His broken laptop, his sudden illnesses, his emergencies, each one perfectly timed to steal her attention. And every time I complained, Willow thought I was overreacting, jealous, petty, but it wasn't jealousy. It was instinct. Deep down, I knew something wasn't right. Still, I swallowed my pride, time and time again, choosing her over my anger, even when it hurt, even when it tore at me like a dull knife scraping bone. And then, the night my project almost collapsed, I called her again and again, desperate. She never answered. I fought through it alone until dawn. Later, I learned where she'd been, helping Makoto rehearse for a job interview that didn't even matter. That was the night it hit me. After more than a decade of holding on, maybe letting go wouldn't be so hard after all. Makoto slipped easily into the seat beside Willow, my seat, my place. By the time I returned from wishing old Master Liu a happy birthday, she had already moved back to sit next to me. Her chin rested in her palm, her eyes full of mischief. "It's been 2 weeks, she teased, voice light but edged with impatience. "What's the silent treatment for this time?" I kept my composure. "Willow, we broke up. You agreed to it too." She let out a laugh, small, sharp, and unbelieving. "Unbelievable. Fine. Then tell me, How long is this breakup supposed to last? I didn't answer. The banquet began. After the candles on old Master Liu's cake were blown out, the elders' conversation shifted to the three of us, our futures, our choices. Makoto's name came up first. His resume for that investment bank. Thank heaven for Willow's edits. That's what got him the offer, one elder said proudly. Makoto smiled like a boy caught in the spotlight. It was all thanks to Willow. Without her crash courses, without her teaching me how to negotiate salary, I'd never have gotten this far. Then the attention turned to me. And what about you, George? Old Madam Liu asked. Grandma still doesn't know which firm you've chosen. Before I could speak, Willow cut in, her voice glowing with pride. He got an offer from Panda Group in South City. I even confirmed it with their HR director. The salary is incredible. He has such a bright future ahead of him. She nudged my shoe gently under the table, as though everything between us was still the same. But I pulled my foot away and lowered my eyes to my food. The elders nodded approvingly. The platform of your first job matters most. You must choose wisely. Makoto jumped back in, eager. Exactly. For me, it's not just about money. I come from a humble family. I want to succeed, yes, but also to give back. Finance, after all, is the bloodline of the economy. If the Liu family ever needs advice on asset allocation, I'll be there. He looked at me when he said it. I smiled politely. Sorry, I'm not as noble as you. I just want to start as an analyst, build experience, and one day take over my family's company. And then I dropped it, our new ultra-high net worth family office program. Global asset management. 24/7 concierge service. A firm that would matter. The elders leaned in, impressed. My uncle beamed with pride. Across the table, Makoto's face flushed red, then drained pale. Later, in the garden under the vines, Willow caught up to me. All right, you've made your point. Now add me back, she said, half daring, half pleading. I laughed bitterly. Made my point? Willow, we're broken up. Haven't you heard? The best kind of ex is the one who stays quiet, like they're dead. You're always so harsh, she sighed, reaching for my arm. I'm leaving for training soon. Half a year, maybe longer. If you don't have me back now, you may not see me at all. You really don't want that. I don't, I said flatly. We're over. What's there to want? I turned to leave, until she suddenly slipped my phone from my pocket. Don't be childish, she said, unlocking it as though it belonged to her. With a few taps, I was unblocked again. There. You're really going to keep this up until your first day at Panda Group? Don't forget, you'll need someone to help you settle in. I frowned. Why would I need you? You're going to Panda in South City. I'm going to Penguin Securities in the North. She rolled her eyes. Then who are you expecting to help you? One of those pretty colleagues at Panda? Forget it. On your first day, I'll be the one there. Don't forget, you have a girlfriend. I stood speechless. And right then, like a ghost, Makoto appeared. On the first day, can I come too? He always had this uncanny ability to show up whenever we were alone, pretending it was coincidence. Willow blinked, caught off guard, then shook her head. Sorry, Makoto, our luggage will take up the whole car. I'll call another for you. I don't have much. Just a carry-on, he insisted, turning to me with eyes full of hope. George, you'll probably bring more, right? You can take the other car. I can ride with Willow. We'll fit just fine. I almost laughed. Sure, you two go ahead. You're headed the same way anyway. I walked away before my skin could crawl any further. Willow chased after me, grabbing my arm. Don't say things just to be spiteful. Your first day is important. I have to be the one to take you. I folded my arms, glancing back at Makoto, who stood there like a scolded child. You sure? If you don't take him, he might start crying again. Why would I take him? He's not my boyfriend. Willow shot back. Her voice softened as she swayed my arm gently. I didn't help with your resume because I thought Panda was easy for you. I know how amazing my boyfriend is. So it's settled. I'll take you. All right. Don't be mad anymore. And just then, a group of elders strolled into the garden. "Oh my, look at these two. Such a perfect match." Old Madam Liu beamed. I stood still. Willow only smiled, lips curling with confidence. She thought she had me figured out, that, like every other time, this breakup would pass, that I'd always come back. She leaned close, whispering in my ear, "Be good when I get back from training." 2 months slipped by before I even realized it. In that time, Willow never stopped reaching out. At first, I answered with short, sharp replies, telling her it was over, to stop bothering me. But she never listened. She treated my words like a childish tantrum, brushing them off, messaging me as if nothing had changed. And when I finally went silent, she just kept going, relentless. Eventually, I caved here and there, sending back a cold, dismissive just enough to quiet her down. Then came the letter I'd been waiting for, my official onboarding notice from North City's Penguin Securities. I remember the night I opened it, celebrating with my uncle. Still, I couldn't hold back the question that had been gnawing at me. "Uncle, do you think what I'm doing is wrong?" He looked at me like I'd lost my mind. "Wrong? What's wrong with it?" That Liu girl and Makoto, anyone with eyes could see there was something between them that night. I didn't say anything then, but I'll tell you now, she was making my nephew look like a fool. "You have talent, George. You belong somewhere big. Penguin is where you should be." And just like that, my path was set. Penguin's onboarding was a week earlier than Panda's, so my uncle insisted on flying with me to North City. As the plane lifted off, I stared out the window, watching the city shrink beneath me, and for the first time, it hit me. I had left. I started over with a new phone number, a new social account, adding only a handful of people I trusted. My uncle stayed with me for a week, but soon I was on my own. Then, one morning on the way to a meeting, my phone buzzed. It was David. His voice was tense. "George, something's happened. Willow never showed up to Panda Group. After training, she started looking for you, but you were gone. She thought you and your uncle went traveling. And then she showed up at an investment banking mixer with Makoto." I froze. David kept going. "You haven't seen his Moments feed, have you? 9 photo collages, every day. And Willow's in all of them. To anyone scrolling, it looks like she's his girlfriend. Then onboarding day came. You weren't there. She couldn't reach you. She started panicking, asking everyone, even going back to the university. That's when a professor told her you'd gone to Penguin in North City. She was stunned. She thought she knew everything about you. Yesterday, she came to me. "George," she looked destroyed. No makeup, hair a mess, dark circles under her eyes. She begged me to tell her why. And I told her, look at Makoto's feed. Anyone could see it. She swore she didn't know. "And George, I think she's coming to find you." Not coming. She was already there. As I lowered the phone, I looked up and saw her, breathless, worn down, standing right in front of me. She looked at me, eyes bloodshot, voice trembling. "You know what I was doing those days you flew off to North City for your job? I was searching through every housing option in South City, planning a future for us. I thought I'd surprise you when I picked you up on your first day. I imagined your smile, your joy. I was building our tomorrow like a fool. And you, what were you doing, George? Did it feel good? Did it make you happy leading me on like that?" Her words cracked under the weight of heartbreak, resentment, disbelief. I sat back down, watching the pride she once carried splinter into pieces. "Willow," I said quietly, "do you know why I threw myself into that family office project the moment Penguin called?" She froze. I told her about May 15th. The night my uncle was away, my aunt gone, and I was left alone. I ordered takeout without thinking. Seafood with crab roe, the one thing that could kill me. Within minutes my body betrayed me. Rashes, darkness, my throat closing. I dialed your number again and again. No answer. I called 911, clinging to life as I waited for the ambulance. 10 minutes of hell. And still, I kept calling you. When they finally carried me onto the stretcher, I thought, this is it. As the sirens wailed past your apartment building, all I wished was that you'd hear them, that you'd come. Her pupils tightened. I've always hated hospitals, I continued. That night I shook so badly they had to restrain me. By 2 in the morning, the symptoms had calmed, but I refused to stay. I took a cab home, barely alive, and that's when your call finally came. Do you remember what I asked? Her lips trembled, pale as paper. I asked why you hadn't answered all night, and you said you were helping Makoto with mock interviews and silenced your phone to focus. The blood drained from her face. George, I didn't know. I swear, I didn't. I shook my head, forcing a hollow smile. No, you didn't, because when I picked up that call, I was standing outside your building. And the truth? I wasn't that upset when I was gasping for air, or even when I faced the hospital alone. What broke me was your reason. That cut deeper than the allergy. I remembered the light glowing in her study window. And then, sophomore year, the day I broke my arm in a basketball game. She had run, crazy with tears, abandoning her piano competition final just to reach me. George, you better remember this, she had shouted through her sobs. Whenever you need me, I'll run through hell to be there. But 2 years had passed. Arguments, breakups, my own self-blame, and then that night outside her building, watching her lights fade one by one, alongside Makoto's. That was the moment I let go. I don't know when it happened, I said, but the girl who used to run to me without hesitation now had someone else in her eyes. Someone to confide in about me. Someone worth forgetting me over. Maybe that's just your choice. I could never be as gentle as Makoto. No matter how much noise I made, it was meaningless. This stage play of ours, this triangle, it's time for the curtain call. Her face went blank, as if every ounce of strength drained from her body. So, those last 2 months before graduation, you'd already decided to leave, she whispered. Yeah. I smiled faintly, and you didn't even notice. Too busy helping Makoto, even when you knew how I felt about him. Her voice broke. No, George, I never liked him. I didn't know about that night. If I had, I would have rather died than leave you alone. Please, please believe me. I helped him only because his family was struggling. I was never trying to replace you. If I wanted him, why would I be planning a future with you? Taze blurred her vision as she reached for my hand. I pulled away. You weren't just helping. Willow, you leaned on his admiration, on his need for you, and you knew it. My voice was flat, my tea untouched. But it doesn't matter now. You're just not used to it. That's all. I used to think I couldn't live without you either. But like I said the day we broke up, time and distance blur everything. No one is truly indispensable. Her fist slammed against the table, trembling. I don't want this. I'm not breaking up. I won't. The tears came then, one after another, staining the polished wood between us. George, she whispered, broken. It's been 18 years. She looked at me with bloodshot eyes, her voice breaking, desperate. You can't just say you don't want me anymore. I'll cut him off. I'll change. Please, let's not break up. And for a moment, a dull ache rose in my chest. I knew that pain, too well, the pain of tearing away from someone you once thought would be your forever. She said she had planned a future for us. But so had I. What she never knew was that inside the cap of that fountain pen I gave her on her 25th birthday, I had hidden a secret. A single line of text, engraved so small you'd only see it if you looked closely. It was a promise, for a lifetime together. A promise I had meant to show her when the time was right. But now, it didn't matter anymore. Willow, go home. I shook my head, steady but heavy. There's no going back for us. But Willow didn't go home. She couldn't. Instead, she showed up at the entrance of Penguin Group every single day. When I walked in, she was already there, sitting in the lobby cafe, pretending to belong. She'd buy me iced Americanos, send late-night snacks when I worked overtime, even managed to get her hands on an office access card, sneaking past security just to ride the elevator. When it rained, she waited at the door with an extra umbrella. When the cold set in, she showed up with a thick coat. She did it all as if nothing had changed, as if we were still us. But the truth was, I never accepted anything. I never responded. It became a one-woman performance, a love story playing out for an audience that no longer existed. My colleagues would whisper behind my back, "That girl downstairs, she's gorgeous, persistent. She your girlfriend." And I'd tell them the truth, ex-girlfriend. They'd stare in disbelief. An ex that devoted? And you still said no? Why not just take her back? She kept it up for a month. And then, at an industry networking event, everything shifted. That night I met a woman, sharp, elegant, a partner at a prestigious law firm. Her insights into the financial market left me intrigued. Afterward, she handed me her card, suggested coffee over the weekend. What I didn't know was that Willow had been watching. She saw me on the phone, smiling, saying, "All right, see you this weekend." Her world cracked in that moment. She rushed toward me, eyes wild, voice trembling. "Don't say yes to her. Please, George, don't meet her." And as I stood there, I remembered the call from Aunt Liu the night before, her voice heavy with worry. "George, we won't interfere in your young people's choices. But if Willow keeps this up, she'll lose her job at Panda Group. You know how much she sacrificed to get there. Please, convince her. Don't let her throw it all away." So I looked Willow in the eyes, steady but cold. "Please, it's time for you to go home." But Willow wasn't ready to leave. Not yet. 3 days later, she finally did. Not because she wanted to, but because her grandmother collapsed from the stress of it all. And that was when the story took another turn. And then his voice cut through the room like a blade. "All he does is take from you. His parents died because of him. Willow, are you really going to ruin yourself over this man?" Willow's hand shook, her whole body trembling with rage. "Shut up," she snapped. "Say one more word about George, and I swear I'll tear your mouth apart." Her voice cracked with fury, but he didn't stop. "This isn't just about you two. I can't stay out of it. Seeing you like this hurts me more than dying." Then his eyes, burning with resentment, turned to me. "George, have you ever really cared for her? What have you ever done except take and take? Her stomach's weak. Did you ever cook porridge for her once? She nearly collapsed from exhaustion during those endless shifts, and still she thought of you, buying you late-night snacks while she could barely stand. Did you ever feel sorry for her? She gave you everything. What did you ever give her back?" I smiled, cold, sharp, almost amused. Willow clutched my hand in panic, whispering, "Don't listen to him." But I slipped my hand free and stepped forward, meeting Makoto's gaze with a smirk. "You think you're a savior, don't you? The noble hero rescuing a girl blinded by a toxic relationship. What a joke. She pities you. You pity her. That's all it is. And honestly, you two really do make the perfect pair." He froze, caught to my words, as I moved closer. "You ask what I've done for her? You warm up one bowl of porridge and think that makes you some tragic romantic hero? Did it never occur to you that this recipe doesn't even exist on the market?" Makoto's eyes flickered, uncertain. "That's because the porridge you're holding, I made it. Every summer, back at our old countryside house, I cooked it with my own hands. I studied medical texts, tested formulas, stayed up through countless nights until I found the one that would ease her stomach. I chose the best rice, the purest herbs, and simmered it for half a day in the suffocating heat of summer, because I didn't trust anyone else to do it right. That was me, not you." My voice was ice now. "You only see the polished version of her, the degrees, the glamour. But did you know that in her second year of grad school, she was so crushed by pressure she thought of giving up? She couldn't sleep. She broke down. I'm the one who found her a therapist. I'm the one who stayed awake when she couldn't close her eyes. I'm the one who dropped everything and took her into the mountain for a week when she couldn't bear to face the world." I stared him down, the words cutting like glass. "I never planned to tell you any of this. But your self-righteous savior act? It disgusts me. Yes, Willow and I broke up. But who the hell are you to question what I gave her?" Makoto's lips trembled. He had no words. And in that silence, Willow's voice rang out sharp as steel. "Get out, Makoto! Don't make me call security." He collapsed onto the floor, his desperation spilling out. "Then what about me? These 3 years, Everything we've shared. Are you saying none of it mattered to you, Willow?" She didn't flinch. Her voice was steady, resolute. "No. If I gave you the wrong idea, I'm sorry. But if helping you meant losing George, then I'd rather have never met you at all." Makoto stared at her, stunned, broken, and then, covering his face, he stumbled down the stairs, his figure collapsing into the night. But in his panic, he struck the pen stand on Willow's desk. And the fountain pen, the one I had given her for her 25th birthday, rolled across the floor. The cap and body separated, and as Willow picked it up, her hands froze. Inside the cap, a line of words glinted under the light, so small they could only be read up close. "To my Willow, may the rest of my life write each chapter of our future together. George!" Her breath caught. Knees buckling, she sank to the carpet, trembling as she turned the pen in the light. Along the rim were more inscriptions, tiny messages carved for her alone. "Willow, happy graduation. I gave everything I had to bring us closer to your future. My reward? Will a kiss be enough? Sweetheart, you worked so hard this year. Boyfriend feels too small now. Maybe it's time for something more permanent. How about calling me husband? Today is the day we move into our new home. Tell me, what color flowers did you choose for the balcony? Willow, I found a gray hair today. Don't laugh. Next life, let me meet you first, okay? And the last one, if you're reading this, it means we truly did live a lifetime together. Your ticket to the next life, officially stamped." Willow's sobs broke loose. She clutched the pen to her chest as if it were my hand, shaking with grief. Through her tears, she lifted her head. "I'll go to North City. I'll find work there, once I'm settled. George, please, just give me a chance." I looked at her quietly. "Do you remember the first day I returned to South City? You were waiting downstairs. That morning, I had just finished a conference call. It was about a long-term overseas assignment, part of a cross-border project." Her eyes widened. She froze. "Yesterday, I got the official notice. I've been approved. I'm relocating to London next month." The light drained from her face. "Even if I go to North City, you won't be there. Is it because you want to get away from me? Do you hate me that much?" I shook my head gently. "No." I sat down beside her, staring at the sunset sinking beneath the horizon. "It's because North City taught me something. The world is bigger than I ever imagined. And once I learned to live with the pain of losing you, I realized even alone, life can still be beautiful." I saw my chance, and I took it. I turned to her, my voice steady but heavy. "Willow, you can too. Even without me, your life will still shine." But she broke, her sobs tearing through the air as if the sky itself had collapsed. "No, it won't. Not without you. George, 18 years. My whole life plan was built around you. I was stupid. I was awful. You said you didn't like him. You said it. I had. But life doesn't give us a rewind button." And as the last rays of sunlight slipped beneath the horizon, her tears kept falling. Maybe now, she finally understood what kind of resolve it took for me to walk away from 18 years of love. I returned to North City, throwing myself into work in preparation for my overseas assignment. The pace was faster here, the sky wider, the seasons harsher yet alive. Autumn was bright and clear, winter, brutal with wind, but warm with heat. Willow reported in at Panda Group, but outside of work, she disappeared from everything else. Except she never disappeared from me. Every weekend, she flew to North City. Every weekend, she showed up. She never spoke, never disturbed. Sometimes she stood at a distance, watching from across the street. Sometimes she spent entire afternoons in the cafe opposite my apartment. She came week after week. And so, of course, she saw it all, how well I was thriving, how alive I looked without her. But in this vibrant new life, there was no place left for her. She still hoped I'd change my mind. But as new faces began to enter my orbit, colleagues, friends, people who valued me, her presence faded into the background. They laughed with me, pulled me into conversations, invited me to join their world. And every time Willow saw me walk away with them, her fists would tighten, her eyes turning red. But she had no right to interfere. She only had words, texts filled with longing, regret, and I replied with the same distance every time. Because if I knew there was no going back, I couldn't give her a false tomorrow. Before leaving the country, I made a brief stop in South City. That's when David told me Makoto had finally fallen apart. Rumors, lies, Willow cut him off herself, posting a statement in their elite circle. She had only one true love, her childhood sweetheart George, now building a career in finance. It spread like wildfire. Makoto became the punchline of every joke. A toad, lusting after Swan. He cracked under the weight, slipped at work, made a rookie mistake that cost him everything. The firm let him go without hesitation. I said only one thing. He never had a foundation. That job was built on Willow's help. The real world doesn't let you fake it forever. At the airport, I saw Willow one last time. She was so thin she could barely fill the trench coat we'd once picked out together. Her smile trembled, pale as paper. My stomach, the old problem. I've been hospitalized, she said softly. I paused. I've written out the porridge recipe, sent it to Aunt Liu, but she's busy. You should consider private medical services. I know a good one. She shook her head bitterly. This is what I deserve. Still, I pressed a brochure into her hand. A final kindness. You're leaving? Her voice cracked. Fragile. Yeah. Flights this afternoon. My uncle's seeing me off. Can I visit you in London someday? Her eyes held one last flicker of hope. I gave her a gentle smile and slowly shook my head. It's too far. Don't trouble yourself. A year of clinging had to end somewhere. She shook her head, refusing to let go. But I waved goodbye, turned toward the security gate, and didn't look back. Outside, the morning light spilled across the sky, molten gold and crimson, like glass aflame. And I remembered, many years ago, on a morning just like this, I once held Willow's hand and said, one day, we'll see the bigger world together. Now, that bigger world was waiting for me, alone, and maybe that wasn't something to fear. Maybe it was something to look forward to.